All right, guys, here we go. This is the start of 2023. It's a new year, and I think it's time that we also get a new Banjo-Kazooie matchup chart. I don't really see a lot of matchup charts for this character on YouTube, so I thought, hey, I might as well throw in my opinion on the matter. I'm just gonna say this is all my opinion. So if you disagree, please feel free to let me know if you disagree or not. But yeah. I'm going to categorize this under slight advantage, or even, slight disadvantage, or even, slight disadvantage, or just loses hard. I feel like this is the best way to form a matchup chart. I don't want to put in, I don't know, because I feel like when you're looking for a matchup chart, no one cares about that. So without further ado, let's begin. I'm going to go through alphabetical order, and I'm going to start off with Bayonetta. And I personally believe that Bayonetta is in slight disadvantage or even territory. And the reason why I say this is because I feel like Bayonetta relies on close quarters combat. So with a character like her, we have the tools to like keep her out. We have like eggs, we have grenades, we have like disjoints, and I feel like that really helps. But I feel like when this character gets in, we like eat like a lot of damage. Like sure, we could like SDI out the combos properly, but even at the end of the day, like we still like, eat like 40%, 40% after she lands a hit on us. And I feel like it's really kind of bad for us. It's really kind of bad. You really don't want to like be in that situation. I know I'm pretty sure it's like that for every Bayo matchup, but I just feel like with Banjo, the whole point about him is that he has really good weight. And it is true that I think Bayonetta can like struggle to kill us. But I just think that just that overall threat of just like having to play so like carefully because one hit will like cause you to eat like so much damage. I feel like that's like a huge factor. But I still think that we have like a lot of we still have a lot of like tools to keep her out. And that's something to keep note of. Also, one thing that's not in her favor is the fact that she can witch time our projectiles. And because of witch time, if she's like close enough while she witch times a projectile, we're caught in that. And I've actually lost a few games to Bayonetta players because of that. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind of. Now we come to Bowser, and I honestly think that Bowser is a very even matchup. I'm very confident in this. Bowser is like the fastest super heavy in the game, but I still think he struggles with dealing with our zoning, mainly specifically with grenade. I feel like we can like stop his approaches very well. We can stop his approaches. But Bowser's Bowser. He's super heavy, so like we kind of struggle to kill him. And I don't think he struggles at all trying to kill us. So that's just something to keep in mind. I think um I think Bowser, I don't know. I just think Bowser and Banjo, they're like really even. Um I don't think one character like has like amount of factors that completely outshines the other character, like other matchups that I will get into. I just think that yeah, I just think this is a pretty even matchup. So Bowser Jr., I'm going to say that this is also another even matchup. I'm very confident in this. And I think to me, when I play both characters are kind of similar to me, how like they like to take up stage control with like down B and like projectiles and stuff. Uh Bowser Jr. is a lot more orientated. So I feel like when we get hit by like side Bs and up airs, like that's gonna do damage, but I don't think that that's like a huge factor. I don't think that's like I don't think that automatically makes Junior like winning. I think that we have the tools to like keep Junior out because I like another like Junior is another character that I think relies on close quarters combat. Um, I also think that we're not really scared of Mecha Koopa. I feel like we can easily just like destroy Mecha Koopa with our grenade and then we just reset back to neutral. So I just feel like this is a very, very neutral orientated matchup. I think the better whoever's the better player is mostly gonna win. I don't think there's a character factor in. So yeah, that's my opinion. Byleth, I'm going to put in. slight disadvantage or even. Now, usually I think that this is an even matchup, but I think that Byleth, I think the one factor that helps Byleth a lot is range. She's really good at just keeping Banjo out, and I feel like that could really like cause that causes us to like kind of struggle sometimes. However, I don't think like it's that bad because Byleth has range, but Byleth is also very slow, and I feel like we are faster than Byleth. I think I think when you're like when you preemptively use like Nair and stuff, like you won't have to worry about the range issues. But I do think that sometimes Banjo does struggle like getting in against ranged characters. But yeah, I just think that Byleth's I think really good character all around, and I just think that sometimes I just think that Banjo can struggle trying to trying to get in on her. So yeah, I feel like that's fair to say. Slight disadvantage even. I feel like that's a good placement. Captain Falcon. I honestly think that this matchup is probably I'm gonna say slight disadvantage or even. I've seen some people say that this is an even like a dead even matchup, and maybe that could be the case, but I just think that Falcon's overall speed, cost, and combo game, I feel like that really helps him out in this matchup. But I do think that we're able to like zone break, like not zone break, but keep Falcon out with grenades and like eggs. And Falcon doesn't really have like a counter to our projectiles besides shielding. So that causes basically him to halt his approaches towards us. But I just think that kind of similar to like Bayonetta is that like Falcon when he gets in and does like a combo, we can eat like a lot of damage. We can eat a lot of damage. But overall, I think we just have a better time. We have a better neutral, honestly, when it comes to actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just gonna put Falcon in even. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like yeah, I think this is a straight even matchup. I used to think this is bad, but now that I think about it, like we like outrange Falcon. We can zone him out. We can keep him out. We can keep him away from us. And although Falcon does have speed, he could use that to his advantage. But I just think that this is very, very even matchup. So yeah, those are my opinions. Karam, um, yeah, this is a straight up like this is straight up losing matchup. Honestly, I'm gonna even say that this is probably no, I'm gonna say it's -1. I just think that the reason why I don't think it's -2 is because just because of his recovery, like he's so gimpable, we can use Wonder Wing to really intercept up B, and it's basically just free. It's a free stock. But yeah, Crom super fast, outranges us, combos for days, safe moves, safe poking tools. This is a very hard matchup, honestly. Very hard matchup. It's very hard. Trying to get in is very hard. Trying to space because he's so fast. But yeah, I think the only saving grace in this matchup that doesn't make it -2 for me is probably the fact that he can't really kill as early as Roy, and he um he struggles um he struggles with recovery, and I feel like when we abuse that, the matchup is like so much easier. So yeah, Cloud, I have man, there are so many like I don't know what to say about Cloud. I kind of want to put him in even, but I don't know. I think Cloud is just an amazing character. I think Cloud's an amazing character. I'm gonna put it in slight disadvantage or even. I still don't think it's that bad. I don't think this matchup is bad. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think we lose. I don't think we like lose like hard, like a lot of Cloud players like to say. I think it's even. I think that Bad Joke has an easy time like zoning. Like yeah, we can like Cloud could like use his neutral B. I don't know the name of the move, but he can use his neutral B to like cancel out our projectiles. But I mean, it does not really matter because then it's like, well, he can't really move, and I can still move. So it's like, okay, yeah, we're at neutral. But I think the main factor as to why I think it might be like a slight disadvantage is solely because of his sword. His sword gives him so much like range, and especially when we're at kill percentage, it can be so hard trying to get in on Cloud when he's throwing out back air and forward airs because he's super safe. He's like he can fully space himself, position himself in a way that he could be safe. His moves are also, especially back there, that move is really safe and very big. So that could really help. That could really help Cloud. But I think his recovery is very exploitable. I think that trying to get in on him in neutral isn't too hard. You know, using stuff like eggs and grenades, I feel like that really helps. Although I mean, it helps in every matchup. But Falco's, but no, not Falco. Cloud specifically, I feel like it really helped us out. But because of that sword, because of that range, and because of like other factors that he has, such as limit, I feel like that's not in our favor, and I think that's why like he has a slight advantage in that matchup. So yeah. Corin. I think this matchup is pretty even. I think it's pretty even. I think Corin's moves are quite slow. I think they're quite slow for the most part. I don't know. It's weird to describe this matchup because I've never really struggled in against this character. I think no, Corn has range, but I don't think but because like the range moves are like quite slow, I don't think we will struggle from them. Like I don't really have an issue dealing with core M back air spam as I do with like cloud back air spam. Um I just think it's very easy to get in on Corin, but I do think that Corin can like I do think that Corin's range can help him in some ways. It can help slightly, but I don't think that I don't know. I just think the fact that like Corrin's moves are somewhat slow, in my opinion. They're kind of slow. Um, and you know, Corrin doesn't like combo too hard. So even if we do get hit, like we won't like be at a huge like percent deficit. So I just think that this is a very even matchup because yeah, I just think this is a very even matchup. Yeah. Sorry if I don't have like the best explanations for some of these matchups because sometimes it's just hard to describe why you feel a certain way about a matchup. Um, Dark Pit. I can also lump Pit in this category as well. I really want to go alphabetical order, but I'm okay with breaking the rules. I think these matchups are very even. I just think that Pit is a very neutral based character, I feel. Like very neutral character. I won't say neutral based, but neutral character where like Pit doesn't have like any like crazy um crazy things about him, but he can also but it's like it works in his favor because it's like I don't think that this matchup is like hard for Pitt. I don't think it's like super hard. I think both characters have their advantages and disadvantages. I feel like we outclass Pitt when it comes to zoning, but Pitt can like reflect our projectiles back. But I'm confident we have like enough time to avoid like down Bs and stuff like that. Like Pitt's orbital gates, I think that's what it's called. We can easily just jump over it if in time. I also think that Pitt's combo game is pretty decent, pretty good, pretty good. But I feel like when we're like we can do just the same amount of damage in our neutral exchanges. So yeah, I just think this is another very neutral based matchup. So yeah. Diddy Kong. I'm confident in saying that this matchup is most likely. Oh wait, no, I forgot about Dark Samus. And Samus because they're literally the same character. Dark Samus. Where's Samus? There you are. I think this is a matchup that no, I don't think it's even. I think it's slight disadvantage of even, and I think it's because sometimes when Samus is zoning, it can be really hard to get in. It can be really hard to try to like get in on her sometimes, and also when we get in, she can just like be away, and that could be like frustrating. That could be hard to deal with, but I don't know. Like I think like we can combo her pretty hard, and I think we can combo her pretty hard, do a good amount of percentage. I feel like if we're able to like read her recovery, it's gonna be so easy. Uh, deflecting her, but I just think that just the fact that her charge shot can go through our can go through our projectiles. I think that's so helpful in this matchup, and it kind of it forces us to approach, which is what she wants. So because we have to play to like her game, I just think that it's just slightly in her favor, but I don't think it's to the point where I would say that it's -1. So yeah. Diddy Kong. Yeah, I think Diddy Kong is I'm confident saying that this is a -1 matchup. And the reason why I say this is because Diddy is just a character that relies so much on like movement, I think. Very mobility based character, and it could be so hard for a slow character like Banjo to like catch up with Diddy. Like Banjo on the ground isn't very slow, but like I just think that most time like Diddy they're like using like monkey flip, and I think that's what the move is called, the side B. But Diddy's just moving around just like constantly, and it can be so hard for Banjo to like try to like hit the monkey. It can be so hard for Banjo to like line up like attacks and stuff. And because of this, I feel like we can't really like zone as much as we want to. We can't really like use grenades. We can't really use eggs as well. We have to like find a way to somehow intercept Diddy Kong's movement. And I just think that just being able to like just like have all that mobility just really helps Diddy. Now I do think that we have really good survivability against Diddy. I think that Diddy's gonna like have to like put in a lot of work to try to kill us. Most likely, or most likely they're gonna like use like banana or whatever just to try to kill us. But I just think that I don't know. It's like I just think that this matchup, just the fact that Diddy's just so mobile, really like makes it hard for us to like play in this matchup. So yeah. Donkey Kong, I say that this is a slight advantage for us because Donkey Kong is a very huge target, very big. And he has no tools against he doesn't have any like tools that are like really good against us in terms of like when trying to deal with us like using grenades and eggs to like take stage control. So a lot of the times like we just see like Donkey Kong try to like jump or like shield or whatever. And while Donkey Kong does have a good advantage state, I think that the advantage state does not carry him in his matchup. I don't think it carries him that much because just the other factors that Donkey Kong has to worry about, such as recovering and just dealing with neutral as a whole, I feel like we usually win more neutral exchanges, and because of that, we just I just think this matchup is pretty easy in our favor. So yeah, but I do think that the advantage does help DK like not make this a +2 matchup for us. But yeah, Dr. Mario, I think this is also another a +1 matchup, and I say this because I think Dr. Mario kind of suffers the same issues as DK, but actually probably even worse. Dr. Mario is just so slow. I mean, he does have like his side B that can reflect our projectiles, but I'd never really see Dr. Mario's use that move. And yeah, I just think that this is a pretty I'm pretty confident in this matchup being in our favor just for the fact that we outrange Dr. Mario. We're faster than Dr. Mario. So neutral and neutral is easy for us. Dr. Mario can do a pretty good amount of like percentage on us, but I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's I don't think that it's gonna like help him a lot. So yeah, I'm confident in that this is a very +1 matchup. Duck Hunt, I think this matchup is pretty even. Um, I feel like in this matchup we have to play a lot more aggressively, but I don't think that's a problem because I don't think Duck Hunt is the best tool. There's the best get off me tools like Samus or like other zoners in this game. So this is like a matchup that just relies on Duck Hunt zoning us out and us getting in on Duck Hunt, doing a pretty good amount of percentage on him, and him doing percentage based off of zoning us out. And because of that, I feel like it kind of like balances out. I think Duck Hunt can have like a pretty exploitable recovery, but I don't think his recovery is too bad though. I don't think it's that bad, but it's pretty exploitable. Um, Ledge trapping can actually be really hard for us because Duck Hunt has like can that could really make things harder. But I'm just gonna reiterate what I said earlier. I just think it's a very, very I feel like the strengths of both characters in this matchup specifically cancel out into a very even matchup. Falco. Okay, so this might be my hottest take, but I honestly believe that Falco is a -1 matchup. A lot of people say that this is a -2 matchup, but I don't agree with that sentiment. And I just think, uh, like Falco, like I think I'll get into why why I don't think it's -2, but I will say that Falco does win this matchup, and I think it's because Falco's combo game is like really crazy, really hard. He really does a number on us. Like he really does a number on us whenever he gets in. Um, so we have to play so carefully against this character. We have to play so carefully against him. And I also believe that down his reflector is also like so hard to deal with at times. He can just easily just throw the thing out and reflects our projectiles. But other than that, I don't think it's too bad because I feel like we outrange Falco. We can gimp him pretty hard. We can deal with him like I don't know. I just think that in neutral we can just like deal with him like pretty easily. But I just think that once he gets in, he just does so much damage. And Banjo's kind of easy to combo. So, like he can do like 70 or like 60 or 50, just like a really good amount of damage. And that could be like so difficult and so hard to deal with. And yeah, but other than that, I don't think this matchup is as hard as many Banjo players say it is. But I can understand why some people may think that it's Banjo's worst matchup or one of his worst matchups. But yeah. Now Fox. Now I think like out of all the spacies in the game, I think this is his hardest. This is Banjo's hardest matchup because Fox is so fast and he just does so much damage and he does so much shield pressure that it's just so hard to get him off. And it can be really frustrating to deal with having to have your shield like attack constantly and not being able to do anything about it. But other than that, I don't. But other than that, like I think we do a good job zoning Fox out for the most part, like keeping him away. We don't have to like because like we can easily like hold his approaches by like throwing out a grenade. And the thing is with grenade, like unlike Falco, where like Falco's reflector can actually hit us, Fox has like no option to make make us think twice about reflecting. So he just like either he uses down B and like holds in place, or he has to like jump or shield our grenades and eggs. But other than well, and I just think that really helps us out. However, I will say that Fox is actually another factor that Fox has in this matchup is that he could be really hard to combo. He be pretty hard to combo because he falls so fast. So it takes like a lot of like muscle memory to realize how to combo Fox compared to other characters. Since Fox is kind of light and like falls down really fast, like some Brigo Blaster combos don't really work until like mid or like low mid percents, and that could be like really frustrating to deal with. On top of just like Fox is just great like shield pressure and just fast frame data and just like constant like aggressiveness. So yeah, I'm confident in saying that Fox is actually Banjo's worst matchup, I think, in terms of like within spaces in the game. Now Ganon, I think Ganon is a +2 for us. And I just think that Ganon really struggles. I'm trying to get in. He is very slow move, slow frame data, slow airspeed, slow move speed. Basically, poor recovery as well. Yeah, just bad character. Banjo just destroys Ganon. Just can't really get in. He really can't get in. And yeah, he could do a pretty good, decent amount of damage to us if he does get in, but he has to get in, and that's gonna be a pain. So yeah, um, yeah, it's like, do I need to go any further on Ganon? It's Ganon. It's Ganon. Greninja. Oh boy, another -1 matchup. Um, kind of like Fox in a way. Greninja just does tons of damage to us very fast. safe, somewhat safe shield pressure, I think. But I think I don't know. Overall, just like Greninja is just a very combo oriented character who just gets a lot off of comboing us and just like making life just like very hard for us. He really just I don't know, just like constant combos. We have to be careful of dash attack. It's kind of hard to try to zone him out because he's always running at us, and he just like I don't know. It's just hard to explain why this matchup is -1. He just has really good advantage state on us. He's pretty fast. Yeah, I mean we can kind of halt his projectile. We can kind of halt his approaches via projectiles, but I think it's not as effective against other characters. I don't think it's as effective because I don't know. Just Greninja can like intercept. Oh, Greninja can intercept our projectiles with his Shuriken, so that kind of evens out. And when that evens out, we kind of just like lose. But again, like Greninja's a pretty light character, so we can relatively like kill him easily like early. I also forgot to mention this against Falco and Fox, but we can also like kill them relatively earlier as well. I'm confident saying that. Okay, maybe not Falco, but definitely Fox and Greninja. We can definitely kill them earlier. And yeah, they're just constantly just attacking us. No, Greninja's constantly just doing really good damage. So yeah, I'm confident to say that this is a -1 matchup. Hope I'm making sense. Hero. I see a lot of Banjo players say that this is disadvantage, a slight disadvantage. Some people, I think, I remember a while back. I think I said this was even in my last matchup chart. I don't know. I don't like going to that video, but I think Hero definitely a slight disadvantage or even, and I think the only reason why I say this is a slight disadvantage is just because of bounce. Bounce makes it so hard to like just play the game. Like we're struggling really hard. We have to like be aggressive. Like we can't use projectiles, and I'm not gonna say Banjo's a zoner because I don't believe that, but Banjo really does like projectiles because it's kind of how we get damage in. So we have to deal with bounce and just like not being able to like throw projectiles, and it's neutral gets pretty hard. But other than that, like heroes moves are really slow, so we can easily get in. I think that's the way you want to play this matchup. You don't want hero to get those spells. You don't want hero to like try to zone you out with his neutral B or his side B. If you're getting in on hero, you'll do fine. I think you'll do fine in the matchup. I'll try to say it's slight disadvantage or even. Ice Climbers. Now this is gonna be a hot take, but I think Ice Climbers is pretty garbage. Actually, I've seen a lot of people saying this character is mid tier, but no, I think this character is pretty bad, and I think this matchup is also really bad for Ice Climbers because yes, Ice Climbers has a very, very, very good disadvantage state. I'm not gonna deny that, but Ice Climbers is just so easy to separate the two because grenade just separates these guys so easily. It is not even funny. Like they can do whatever they can, but like our just projectiles are just so good at like just like separating them apart. Like we just throw a grenade, boom, they're apart, and then we just like body Nana or Popo, the second ice climber. Who cares? We can just negate all of that advantage state by just separating them. And then of course the person who controls the head ice climber, they're gonna run off to disadvantage to save their ice climber. Then they're hanging on the ledge. Then we can just ledge trap with grenade, and then they get split apart again. And then I don't know this matchup, in my opinion, I think it is the easiest matchup for Banjo to win. I I've had a harder time fighting Ganondorf as Banjo I than against Ice Climbers. I'm just being honest with that. I don't think Ice Climbers is that good, and I think that this matchup is so easy just for the fact that Grenade is there, Grenade exists. We can just separate them easily, and we can also deflect their neutral B so easily as well. So it's like they don't even have like a projectile to deal with. And although their down B can like deflect our grenade, they're staying in place. So it doesn't even matter. It does not even matter if they could destroy our grenade. So yeah, I'm very, very passionate that I'm very confident that like Ice Climbers is a +2 matchup. Ike. Um I honestly think that Ike is a I think I used to think that this matchup was really bad. Then I started thinking this matchup is even. a part of me wants to say this is slight disadvantage or even, but the more that I think about this matchup, the more that I'm going to have to agree with that sentiment. I think Ike is not as bad as people say he is, and Ike somewhat zones can do. I think Ike's biggest factor is just the fact that he has really big range on his sword, so that makes it really hard for us to try to get in. I think that makes it really hard for us to try to get in. But other than that, like Ike is really slow. His when we force him to use up B, he just struggles. Can't really do much. And we just get like a free Wonder Wing. So he basically just loses the stock. Yeah, just Ike is just a slow character, and we do. I feel like with this matchup, you really want to play aggressive. Like, sure, you can use projectiles, but you really want to get in. You really want to use Bringle Blaster combos a lot in this matchup. Um, yeah, I just think that I think the range factor does help out Ike because with the Nair, I don't know. I feel like it's so easy to combo Banjo with Ike. It can be so easy. No matter how much I DI, I still get hit by Nair up air, and it makes me sad. But but yeah, I just think that Ike has a range advantage in this matchup. Incineroar, I think this is an even matchup, and the reason why I say this is even is because I think Incineroar does I Incineroar struggles dealing with like zoning, but like he kind of does it because he can just like down B the grenade or grenades or projectiles or eggs, but I don't think it's that bad because we could like just do some like reverse psychology and just grab and throw Incineroar, and then that causes him to just struggle against us. I think I could struggle in neutral, but I feel like when Incineroar gets in, he could do like a really good amount of damage. He could do a really good amount of damage because his advantage is really good. But I don't know. I think his recovery is very exploitable as well, and we have to force him to recover in so many like weird ways. I don't know. Just overall, Incineroar pretty I don't know. I think this matchup is pretty neutral. I'm confident in it's a very neutral matchup. Inkling. I think Inkling is I'm gonna say disadvantage, slight disadvantage in our favor. I think Inkling does a really good job at you know just um just being annoying, comboing us. Makes it really hard to like hit him in neutral and stuff. Makes it really hard to like avoid. He does a great job at like avoiding our projectiles. He's just a very just agile and like mobile character, kind of like Diddy Kong in a way. Um, I think the ink mechanic also helps. I think when he does up throw to up air, I don't know. I feel like it's so easy to hit it on Banjo. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an England player, so I don't know. But I just feel like there's so many times where I feel like I should not have gotten hit by it, but I just do. But I don't know. I don't really struggle too hard in this matchup because I feel like we could do a pretty good job at like beating them, beating them, and trying to hit them before they hit us. I think. But yeah, just overall, I just think that Inkling, just for like having, just for like being a very agile character, having pretty good combo game against us, and also that back air is so safe, really good shield pressure. I feel like that causes us to struggle. So yeah, Isabel. This is also probably another hot take, but I think Isabel really wins this matchup. And I think the main factor that causes her to win is the fact that she has neutral B or her pocket. She can pocket our grenades, and we cannot use a grenade ever again. We have to kill her. And I think that's really hard for us to deal with. I think that's really hard to deal with. And when we don't have our grenade, it makes it so hard to like try to get in on her. So a lot of the times we're running into her projectiles, and it's so difficult to it's just really difficult. It's a very difficult matchup. Very difficult in my opinion. When grenade is pocketed. Now when grenade is not pocketed, yeah, it's somewhat easy. It's somewhat easier. But The fact that the fact that we have to worry so much about her pocketing her grenade, just I feel like that just makes this matchup just losing for us because we have to play to her game. We have to play to her rules, and I think that's not how you want to play a matchup. You don't want to play a matchup by having to worry about the rules of someone else. You don't want to play to someone else's you don't want to play someone else's game. So I feel like that's a huge factor to take into account. All right, now we have Joker. Now honestly with Joker, I'm not sure where to place Joker. A part of me wants to say a slight disadvantage. A part of me wants to say loses hard, but I think overall I'm gonna say that we lose pretty hard against Joker. And I think the main reason why we lose really hard against Joker is just the fact that Joker is kind of like Greninja in a way, kind of like Greninja, does really good damage. Really mobile, kind of hard to hit because his hurt box is very like thin, very mobile, has great mobility, just everything. There's so and but it's so much harder because he automatic even without Arsene, right? I'm not even gonna talk about Arsene right now, but like Joker has down B. He basically absorbs our projectiles at half the damage, I think. Half the damage, I'm not sure, but half the damage and also like absorbs and also gets Arsene meter. So we have to be careful about that. Joker has gun, which can just destroy. I don't think it destroys eggs, but it destroys grenade, and that's very helpful. It's sometimes hard for Banjo to like try to intercept him landing with gun because I don't know. It's like we lose the air to air because Joker could like throw out another aerial while landing with gun. So we have no choice but to let him land. We can't intercept his gun landing with grenade because the guns destroy the grenade because the guns are actually a disjoint. Really good combo game. His back air is super safe on our shield. Like it's so safe, and we can't really do anything. So he could just like spam back air sometimes, and we can't really do much. What makes this matchup super hard is when he gets Arsene because not only does all of his straights get amplified, but now his down B turns into a reflector. So we still have to be careful about reflecting his stuff. Like, yeah, we could probably like two frame our sun recovery, but I don't think that's like a huge factor. I don't think that helps us too much in this matchup because you know he's Joker. He just does so much more than us. So yeah, I'm confident saying that this is my matchup. Jigglypuff. I'm confident. This might be a hot take, but I think Jigglypuff is most likely slight advantage or even actually. And I say this because I think Jigglypuff has really good air mobility, but I feel like because of the way that you kind of have to play with Jigglypuff, you kind of have to like be like close to your opponent. You gotta be close to your opponent if you want to like do a lot of damage and stuff. And I just think that with Puff, you have so much to. Puff is a character that relies so much on close quarters combat, and because of that, our disjoints, Kazooie disjoints, back air, forward tilt, and projectiles makes it so hard for Puff to get in on us. And I also think that Puff's advantage against us isn't the best actually, because see the thing is right, Puff can't really edge guard us. She can't really edge guard us because we have um we have Wonder Wing, and most Banjo players aren't going to like just throw out Wonder Wing like willy nilly. Like we know when to use it to recover, so we could just throw out Wonder Wing and she just can't she just has to go back to stage because she can't do anything about it. And I don't know. I just think that we just outrange her. We can zone her out pretty well, and I just think that it's just I don't know. Actually, I'm confident in this is actually in our advantage. I'm confident. I'm very confident in saying that. I just think that we have so many more strengths. We have a lot more strengths over Puff than she does over us. So now we get into a Kazuya, big man Kazuya. I actually think this matchup is -1, and I think we do a good job at zoning Kazuya, even when he has his reflector. I think we do a good job zoning Kazuya. I think we do a good job keeping him away from us because we have disjoints, and we also do a good job at edge guarding Kazuya well. But the main factor as to why this is a disadvantage is because of the fact that he's Kazuya, so he can just electric wind God fist and you get electric wind God fist and just get us to like 60 or something like that. And because of that, he has a lot of I think invincibility or intangibility. I'm not sure, and that really like makes it hard for us to play in this matchup as well. So that's another factor that we have to worry about. He just does a really good job at just keeping us out. No, not keeping us out, but like he just does a really good job at just doing tons of damage when he manages to get in. And because he has that crouch walk, I think that's what it's called. That also really does a number on us in terms of that is really that can make it really hard to like try to zone. It's really scary to deal with. And that's what Kazuya wants. He wants you to be scared of him. So yeah. I think we do a good job zoning. We do a good job outranging him, and we could edge guard him pretty well. But just because he's Kazuya, he just does do like so much. You know what? No, I don't think it's slight disadvantage. I'm gonna say it's slight disadvantage or even. Still in the favor, but I don't think it's that bad, honestly. That I don't know. I might be crazy for saying that, but that's just how I feel. We do a good job zoning, do a good job outranging him. We do a good job countering his recovery, but because he's Kazuya, I feel like it gives him that slight edge. He just could do so much damage. And crouch walk, invisible crouch walk, and and intangibility, invincibility on all those moves. So yeah. I think this matchup is even because kind of like Kazuya, but like easier. Ken doesn't have invincibility, but he can do tons of damage against us. Um, is he kind of I think he kind of struggles against our zoning because his projectile is not as good as Ryu's. His Hadouken isn't as good, but what he makes up for is damage, and he could do like a really good amount of damage to us if he catches us. And I think that's a huge factor that we have to consider the fact that he could just do like a really good amount of damage to us. But overall, we can outzone him, we can outrange him, we can also like counter his recovery pretty well. So yeah, I'm confident in saying that it's an even matchup. King DDD, I think King DDD is a slight advantage. Um you can't really zone us that well because we could just easily deflect Gorill's back. And he can like inhale our projectiles, but I don't think it's as powerful. I don't think it's a huge factor that causes us to struggle, but that's just something to keep in mind of. I think King Dedede, he's very slow, so a lot of the times we can easily just get in on him and do like a good amount of damage to him. Even as a character like Banjo who doesn't have the best advantage state, we can do pretty decent damage on King Dedede. I feel like we win most neutral interactions, but I don't know. I don't think this matchup is +2 because I think DDD just has some factors like heavyweight. His heavyweight really helps him out because it could cause us to like have to be like really patient for the kill. Meanwhile, he can kill us pretty relatively early, and if DDD could get a hard read on us, then it's going to be so difficult to deal with. So I'm I'm uh, I'm confident in I'm confident in saying this is a +1 matchup. King K Rule, I think this is an even matchup. I'm gonna say dead even because uh I don't know, like King K Rule, I think he does like a pretty I don't know, I just think like Banjo and King K Rule, like they don't outshine each other specifically in like a lot of factors. King K Rule has the heavy weight, so that can cause him to be like hard to kill. However, Banjo, I think, has a slightly better neutral. He's I feel like he's able to just zone King K. Rool pretty well with eggs. Like with grenade, like King K. Rool can reflect. He can reflect he can reflect the grenade, but with the eggs, I don't think it's very practical to try to reflect those. So King DDD, King no, not King DDD. King K. Rool's gonna struggle with that a bit. Um, we do pretty good damage towards him, but he can do good damage towards us. Sometimes his lead trapping can be really difficult to deal with. However, if he's using his neutral B to try to like suck you up and like shoot you out, like a grenade is really good at like countering that. But I don't know. I just think this is a matchup. Both characters, they don't like overpower each other. I think that's a very important factor to keep in mind. So yeah. Kirby. I think Kirby is a +1 matchup for us because kind of like Jiggly. I kind of treat Kirby as like Jigglypuff in a way, but honestly, I think Jigglypuff is I think Kirby is easier for us because of the fact that Kirby doesn't have like the best air mobility. So not only do you have this very light character who can like die easily, has with short range, but also doesn't have fast airspeed. I think we just do a good job at just keeping Kirby out, uh, making it so like he can't really get in on us. And also we force he cannot up B. He cannot up B against us similar to Ike because we can easily just intercept it. So he has no choice but to like try to recover in like different ways, which is what we want. I mean, like it's not what we want, but like like we make him uncomfortable recovering, and that's a really good factor to keep in mind. Um, I will say that when Kirby does get in on us, he can do some pretty good damage. He can do some pretty good damage, but other than that, I don't think that helps make the matchup even for him. So yeah. Link. Let's get to Link. I think Link is slight disadvantage or even. I used to think that this matchup was pretty even, but the more I think about it, like it's so hard sometimes to like. I mean, no, I think character in neutral wise, I think both characters are like even in a way. I do think that Banjo has to be a bit more aggressive, but I think what I think what really makes this matchup hard is when Link has bomb is trying to edge guard us and let's trap us with bomb. I feel like sometimes Banjo may not have like the right doesn't have the best answers to it. And I also think that Link has much better shield pressure than we do, so it could be hard to like he can have like a really easy time just pressuring us with his nair specifically. But other than that, I think this is a pretty even matchup. It can be pretty even, but I do think that the matchup is in Link's favor just for the fact that he has more range. We have to be a little more aggressive and and just bomb as a whole being very hard to deal with. But yeah, I don't think it's that bad though. I don't think it's that bad. So Little Mac, I actually don't think that this matchup is -2. I think it's +1. And the main reason why I think it's +1 is because Little Mac has like a really oppressive neutral game. Trying to keep him out can be really scary because he has like tons of super armor. He's really fast on the ground. But I do think we outzone Little Mac. We can easily gimp his recovery. So easy to just gimp that recovery. He struggles dealing with projectiles, so we have to force him to jump, but he doesn't have really any good aerials. He can't edge guard us. I don't think his ledge trapping is that great either. Because we could just throw out like bomb and what he's gonna down smash. Yeah, he goes through the bomb, but he doesn't really like hurt us or anything like that. So we just get back on the stage for free. So yeah, I'm confident saying that like, but I just think that the fact that Little Mac just is like really fast, really agile, just able to do like so much against us. Like not okay, he can't do like a lot against us, but like you know, he can do like a pretty good number in neutral, and I think that really helps him out. So yeah, I'm confident in saying that this is a pretty +1 matchup. Lucario, I've always thought this matchup was even, but I think Lucario relies way too much on close range combat, and I think he relies way too much on aura in this matchup. I'm confident saying that this is most likely in our it's an even. I think it's even. We probably have the slight advantage because I think that I don't know. I just think that we can we can do a pretty good job zoning Lucario. Although I think zoning him does get harder when he gets to a higher percentage because his aura sphere becomes a lot bigger and it negates a lot of our projectiles. So that's something that we have to keep in mind of. But overall, kind of like Little Mac, we can outrange him a lot. I don't think his recovery is as isn't really easy to intercept because he can go so fast, so it could be hard to react. But yeah, I just think that it's really I don't know, it's somewhat even because like he has a really good combo game on us. He could do like a pretty good number, but I don't think like his advantage is as isn't that great. I think Banjo could probably get a lot more off advantage state than Lucario, but I don't think it's that much better than Lucario's, honestly. And I think the fact that like Lucario relies so much on aura in this matchup, I feel. So because of those factors, I'm gonna say that it's even, but I do think that Banjo has the slight advantage in this match, just slightly. Okay, let's get into Lucas. I think Lucas is pretty even. Um, I'm not. I like the thing is, he can't really absorb our projectiles because like egg, it's not like an energy-based projectile, and the only time Lucas can ever like absorb our grenade is if it explodes. But if we throw it directly at him, he just gets hurt. Um, his recovery can be gimpable, but I don't think his recovery is like bad though. Like he could just like okay, well I'm not gonna say it's good, but like I don't know. Like I'm not trying. I'm not finding the right words to say, but like I just think that he doesn't really he kind of struggles trying to no, he doesn't struggle, but he mainly I don't know, we could just gimp him. That's basically it. We can gimp him pretty easily, but uh Lucas has really good shield pressure, especially with that forward air. That forward air is really great. That forward air is really great. I think he can do a pretty decent amount of a pretty good amount of percentage on us if he gets in. Um, but yeah, overall, I don't know. I think both characters don't have like any like huge advantages over each other. I think I do think that when Lucas is zoning with like PK Fire and stuff like that, like it could be kind of hard. We have to like kind of get in, but I don't think like his zoning is it's gonna help him out. It's gonna help him win matchups. So yeah, I'm confident in saying that. Lucina, I think Lucina is I'm also gonna lump Marth in as well because anything I have to say about Lucina applies to Marth, but I think Lucina and Marth are like minus one. Their frame data is really good. They have really good range. They're able to just like keep us out. They do a really good job keeping us out in neutral, and they do a pretty good job juggling us as well. They do a really good job juggling us, and yeah, I just think that they're really good characters. Honestly, like yes, I said that about Mark. I think he's pretty good. Um, they just do a really good job just keeping us out. I will say that Lucino does do better in the matchup, but I don't think that Marth is like I would not say that Marth is like disadvantage or even. I do think that Marth does beat Banjo just for the fact that he has the same amount of range as Lucina. And I do say also it's hard to edge guard them as well, so we have to rely a lot on ledge trapping as well. So that's something to take into account as well. Um, they also have pretty decent airspeed, but I just think that in general, like I think the main objective of the game is to like use projectiles and eggs to like try to get in on them. But we have to get in on them because they can easily just like outrange us. And their moves are like kind of lagless, it feels. So that's also something to think about as well. So yeah, I'm confident saying that. I'm confident saying that this is a slight disadvantage. Slight disadvantage. Luigi, I think this matchup is dead even. And the reason why I say this is because I think Luigi, Luigi really somewhat very kind of similar to Ken in a way where like we have to rely a lot on zoning him out and like outranging him, but Luigi just does like a just a good job at just doing so much damage to us, which is like one grab. And also like Luigi has really good shield pressure as well. Like up air is good at shield pressure. I think back air is also really good at that as well. Um I think Luigi's Killer friends work pretty well on Banjo, like down throw to down B. I feel like we have to like beg to like we have to like beg to like hope that like we like don't get hit by the down B like air like by like air dodging and just wishing for the best. But I just think that overall like I think overall though like although I said a lot, I think I said a lot that's in Banjo's favor, but no, I think Luigi does a really good job dealing with Banjo's strengths and stuff. I mean, obviously the zoning is like really hard to deal with, and so is the the shield pressure. No. The zoning is really hard to deal with, and that being outranged is hard to deal with. But I think when Luigi gets it, he can do like a pretty good amount of damage. So I think like a lot of the times Banjo is doing a good job. Banjo um outranges and zones Luigi, but when Luigi gets in, he does like the same amount of damage that Banjo would do. So I think both characters even out. Yeah. Mario, I think Mario would be is in slight disadvantage, and the main reason why I say this is because Mario is kind of similar to Luigi in a way, but the thing with Mario is that in terms of like this matchup, not like as characters, but like in terms of this matchup, I think Mario has just better shield pressure just for the fact that Mario is faster in the air, so a lot of times he like back airs and he just like manages to like either cross up or just goes to just right through our shield. And that can be really hard because we can't even up smash out of shield to deal with that. Also Mario's combo game is just like ridiculous on us, and it can be so hard to deal with as well. I will say that I do think sometimes Mario is a bit easier to edgeguard than Luigi, but I don't know. The fact that he has that up B, which is invincible, and has a really big hurt box, I think that really helps him. But yeah, I just think Mario, really good character. Like, yes, we can't outrange Mario, but I think that Mario, just for the fact that he's like pretty fast in the air, much faster than Luigi, I think that really helps him out. So yeah, I'm confident saying this is a slight disadvantage. Mega Man is let's say even. I think it's a dead even matchup. I think when we get in on Mega Man, we do a pretty good job, but the whole point of Mega Man is to zone you out because he's a zoner. Most of his moves are projectile based, so yeah, I think our Wonder Wing actually can like negate pretty much all of his stuff, so that's really helpful. So that's something you can keep in mind if you're gonna play Mega Man. If you're playing against Mega Man, uh, Side B Wonder Wing just does a really good job at negating most of his stuff, but Mega Man has some pretty good close quarters moves. Like I'd say like back air is really good and forward air is good, but other than that, I feel like if you're like if you're able to like get in on Mega Man a lot, I feel like the matchup becomes like so much easier. So that's why I think it's a dead even matchup. Just for the fact that you can get in on Mega Man a lot. If you get in on Mega Man, I think you'll do fine. I think you will do fine. It really depends on who's the better player. But Mega Man can do a good job at like keeping us out, zoning us. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Meta Knight. I think Meta Knight is slightly advantageous and even. I kind of like to. I think that I don't think that we win against Meta Knight, but I do think it is slightly in our favor. And okay, wait, that makes no sense. But you get what I mean, like slight advantage or even. And the main reason why I say this is because Meta Knight, uh, while he does have like more range, his like range is like so short. I think we outrange Meta Knight. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I do think we somewhat outrange Meta Knight, and I think that's like a huge factor to keep in mind. We can keep him out. we can do a good job at keeping him out with grenades and eggs, and I think that we can use that to like get in on him. And Meta has no choice but to either like shield or like jump over. He doesn't have any moves that could like outright just beat our eggs. He can do like pretty good. He does. He can have a pretty good advantage state on us because Meta Knight, he's just really good at combos and stuff like that. But I think the fact that he has to try to get in on us, that can be really hard for him. And I don't know. I just think that we just have like the easier we have the easier advantage state. No, 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 neutral game. Um Meta is also a character that really relies on edge guards, and if you have Wonder Wing, you'll be fine because you could just really just go through him, and he can't really do anything about it. So that's why I said it's a slight advantage or even. But I think that Meta still has factors that doesn't make it like too hard for him, honestly. So yeah. Um Mewtwo. I think this matchup is it's so hard to put my opinion on this. A part of me wants to say slight advantage or even, but a part of me wants to say even. And I think I'm gonna go with even. Mewtwo is quite Mewtwo's a character. um his neutral bees can do a really good job at just like canceling out our zoning. So we have to like angle our eggs and projectiles in a way. But he also has side B, which he also reflects as well. But when he uses side B, he's kind of like stuck. He's kind of stuck in like one position. He can't really move when he does that. So it really relies on so I think like if he's trying to reflect our moves and stuff, it's pretty neutral. It's pretty neutral. Like nobody's gonna like. I don't think many people, both characters will either win or lose the situation. Um, I think Mewtwo has a pretty decent advantage state when he gets in on Banjo, and but I think Banjo just outranges Mewtwo and could kill Mewtwo relatively early. But I don't know. It's just so hard to describe this matchup because like I think I'm confident in the matchup. I think I do pretty decent in the matchup, but it's just so hard to explain why I think it's even. I just, I just think that both characters they don't outshine each other more times than the other. So I think because of that, it makes the matchup pretty even. So yeah, I'm confident in saying that this is an even matchup. Me Brawler, I think Me Brawler is -1. And the main reason why I think Me Brawler is -1 is solely because he has a pretty good advantage state. When he gets in, I think he'll do like a pretty decent amount of damage towards us. And that can make it really hard for us to deal with sometimes. Me Brawler has really good shield pressure as well. Like his back air and his nair, really good at like keeping us in shield. And his down throw like Thrupper cut, I think is what's called. That could also really help as that really helps. His recovery is exploitable, so we can't abuse that. Um, and he does not have the best options against our zoning as well. So that's also something to keep in mind. But I just think that the fact that he's able to just pressure us and shield a lot and just do like a good amount of damage. His mobility is also kind of decent as well. So like he can also, if he can, if the Me Brawler is like smart enough, he can avoid our projectiles pretty decently. But I don't think he'd be able to do that well. But yeah, I'm always open to like thinking that he could. Um, Also, something to keep in mind is that his his um his counter move also like beats Wonder Wing, and it could actually kill Banjo pretty early. I think it can kill around mid percentages. I'm not sure, but that's something to keep in mind as well. So if you're dealing with the Me Brawler, like hope that they don't have counter because then that could really make the matchup harder. But yeah, even without the counter, I still think it's a -1 matchup. So yeah. Me Gunner. I think this matchup is somewhat dead even, and I kind of like to think of Me Gunner kind of in the same boat as Samus in a way, but I feel like with I feel like the advantage that Samus has over me Gunner is the fact that Samus has like really good get off me tools, so that can make it really hard. Meanwhile, me Gunner doesn't have any of that, so a lot of the times the matchup will consist of both characters zoning. I do think that Banjo is gonna have to be the more aggressive player because me Gunner has like so many more projectiles than so many more projectiles over Banjo, but I do think that Banjo has the better advantage state. Um, I also don't think that me Gunner could do a good job at edge guarding Banjo, but yeah, I don't know. Both characters, it just seems like a very neutral based matchup to me. Very neutral based. Um, let's see. Me Sword Fighter now. We're going to Me Sword Fighter, and I think Me Sword Fighter is probably slight advantage or even. I just think that I don't know. It's just like with Me Sword Fighter, like I don't think the character's that great, but I don't know. It's just like it's weird because I don't think me Sword Fighter loses so hard. I don't think the character loses really hard, but like they have decent zoning for some reason. You know, they're supposed to be a sword fighter, but they have decent zoning, so that could be a struggle to deal with. But and they do have the reflector, which is pretty decent actually. I think the reflector is pretty decent, but I just think that you know what? No, I'll say that it's even actually. I think it's a pretty even matchup. I'll give me sword fighter that. But I think we do a good job edge guarding me sword fighter. I think we do a decent job in neutral. I think me sword fighter might have the advantage in advantage state. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't really get to play this matchup too often, but I just feel like this matchup is pretty even. So let's get to Min Min. I think Min Min is probably -1. And the main reason why is because Min Min just outranges us. She does like a really good job out. She could just do like a really good job keeping us out. And that could be really frustrating to deal with. She also has like a really good reflector, her up smash. It could like reflect at like at a decent amount of angles. So I think that's also a factor that helps her in the matchup. Like, yeah, we can get it. So like we have no choice but to like try to like play aggressively and get in. But like her up, but she has like an up, she has a really good, but her up smash is like so good at just at like dealing with us. But I feel like the main objective in this matchup as Banjo is to like actually like try to play aggressively. We have to play aggressively against her. But yeah, just the fact that she just has like really good range to keep us out. Like, yeah, we can gimp her. We can gimp her pretty easily. And if we hit her once with the egg off stage, like she's dead. I'm confident that she's dead. But other than that, I think we lose just for the fact that she just outranges us pretty hard, like so hard. Mr. Game and Watch. I actually think Mr. Game and Watch. I think Mr. Game and Watch is slight disadvantage and even because I think we can't outrange Mr. Game and Watch. I don't think we have to worry about Mr. Game and Watch absorbing our projectiles because since we don't have energy based projectiles, he can only absorb our projectiles with down B only if the grenade explodes while he has it out. But other than that, I don't know. I think it's somewhat even. I do think Mr. Game Watch has a slight advantage only because of his up B out of shield, which is frame 3. It just does like a really good job at just like keeping us out. It does a good job. It just does a good job of keeping us out. But other than that, I think both characters. I don't know. I think it's pretty even. I think it's pretty even because Banjo can outrange Game and Watch. I think Banjo can somewhat box with Game and Watch. I think does a good job. I think forward tilt, down tilt are really good moves in this matchup. So I highly recommend using those matchups. Those moves. Uh yeah, I think that's all I said. I think that's all I have to say about Game and Watch, you know. Ness. I think Ness is a pretty even matchup. I think this matchup is pretty even. And the main reason why I think it's even is because I think all boils down to neutral, and I think like both characters don't outshine each other in neutral over the other. I do think, you know, Ness he does have the better shield pressure than us, but I think we have the better zoning, like Lucas in a way. can't really absorb our grenades unless the bomb explodes. But most likely or not, Banjo players are just gonna throw the grenade at him because like why wouldn't you? Um, I think we outrange Ness. I think we can also keep Ness. We can edgeguard Ness pretty well as well. Um, but I do think that Ness, the shield pressure, not only does he have like really good shield pressure, but his advantage is also really good. And when he gets in, he can do so much damage to us, and that can be so hard to deal with. And that's just something you got to keep in mind. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that Ness even. I think it's a pretty even matchup. I'm pretty sure a good chunk of Ness players are gonna say other. They're gonna say that Ness probably wins, but I don't know. I think I've always thought this was an even matchup. Pac-Man, I think Pac-Man is a -1 matchup. And the main reason why I say it's -1 is because Pac-Man does a good job zoning, but he's also really good at boxing us as well. And I think that's just the main factor. I do think that we do a decent job keeping up with Pac-Man, but I just think Pac-Man, just the fact that Pac-Man's the better character than Banjo, I feel like that really helps him out. Um, I do think that in this matchup we want to be a bit more aggressive than we want to be a bit more aggressive because I think Pac-Man gets so much more off of zoning than we do. So you want to play more aggressively against Pac-Man in this matchup. And that's kind of playing to what Pac-Man wants, I think. I think Pac-Man is a character that really relies on like trapping his opponents and like hitting them with like weird quirky stuff that you can't see coming. So yeah. Palutena, I think this matchup is terrible. I think this is a -2 matchup. I might even say that this is Banjo's worst matchup. Palutena does a really good job at reflecting our projectiles. She does a pretty decent job at zoning us out. She has a really good advantage on her. It's very hard to edge guard her because of her up B, causing her to teleport. Um, she does a she's just such a good character. Oh yeah, her her back air and her dash attack can just cancel out Wonder Wing. That's a huge factor. So she can just back air and Wonder Wing just loses. Okay, well Wonder Wing doesn't lose it, but it just like nothing happens. You don't gain any damage off of it. So yeah. And also her juggling is just like ridiculous with her up air. So it can cause us to like have to like be so careful when it comes to recovering. So it's something to keep in mind as well. So yeah. Yeah, I think I'm confident saying that not only is it -2, but I perceive that it is Banjo's worst matchup. Um, I feel like in this matchup, Banjo has to be aggressive because Palutena could just do a really good job at keeping him out. Um, like you can zone. I mean, like you can kind of somewhat zone, and we do somewhat outrange her. But just the fact that she's Palutena with her like nair and her up airs and back airs and just everything, I'm confident in saying that it's a minus. It's a -2. Peach, I think Peach is -1. I don't. I've seen a lot of Banjo players claim that this matchup is even, but no, no, no. Peach is a very good character because the best things, the things that I think cause her to win this matchup is the fact that she has a very deadly advantage there, like probably one of the best advantages in the game. Her combo game is just amazing, and she also has really good shield pressure, especially that back air. That back air is amazing at like keeping us in shield. We can't really do much. We can't fight it, so we just have no choice but to like either like try to roll away or jump away. And just she's just a really good character. She's a really good character. Um, Really good advantage on us. Like, yeah, we could somewhat zone her out. We could zone her out, and yeah, we do outrange her. But I feel like when it's in neutral, like her turn-ups can really beat our disjoints. I think they win the interactions most of the time. So yeah, I'm confident in that Peach loses. No, Peach beats us. Pichu, I think I've seen a lot of people say that this is even. I always thought that this is disadvantageous. So I think it's somewhat in the middle, honestly, because Pichu, very light character, so we can easily kill Pichu's pretty early, and Pichu does a lot of self damage as well, so that even helps helps out even more when we try to like kill Pichu. But Pichu just has a really good advantage state. Like even like Pichu does like really good damage. Pichu's hard to edge guard. Pichu's pretty hard to edge guard. I don't know. I just think that Pichu just does a really good job at keeping. Pichu does a really good job at doing damage, and I mean we can somewhat outrange Pichu, but Pichu's so like small and nimble that like it's gonna be hard to like try to like specifically try to like zone Pichu. Because Pichu could just run under our projectiles. So that's why I think it's slight disadvantage or even just for the fact that Pichu just has a really good advantage state on top of being able to avoid our projectiles somewhat easily. Like we could still like get him a lot of the time, but yeah, I'm confident saying that it's winning. It's slightly in it's slightly winning in Pichu's favor. Pikachu, I this might be a very, very hot take, but a part of me thinks that Pikachu is probably -1. I don't think that this matchup is that bad. It's -1, but I don't think it's that bad. Maybe it's because I actually like fighting Pikachu. Maybe it's because I don't mind Pikachu. Don't mind fighting Pikachu, but I've never struggled so hard in this matchup against Pikachu because it's kind of like Pikachu. It's kind of like Pichu, but I think, but I don't know. It's like see Pikachu. Great recovery, so it's hard to edge guard and very nimble, pretty really, really good advantage state on us, like really good. But I don't know. It's like I think with when we use like Brigo Blaster and stuff like that, I feel like we kind of force Pikachu to like try to like get in on us. And it's like, I don't think that's we force Pikachu to get in on us with like eggs and Brigo Blaster. We can I don't know, it's so hard to explain. I think we can kill Pikachu earlier than he can kill us. I think that's also one thing that we have because Banjo has a pretty decent weight. He kind of struggles. Pikachu kind of struggles trying to kill us. Um, yeah, we just do. I just think we do a really good job at staying alive against Pikachu. But I just think that Pikachu's just because Pikachu's Pikachu. I feel like his strength outweighs ours and causes him to like win the matchup. So yeah, yeah. We stay alive. We stay alive. We keep him away from us. We keep him out. But the fact that he's Pikachu, he does pretty good damage towards us. He's hard to edge guard. Sometimes he can be hard to hit. I never had a hard time hitting Pikachu, but I know some people do. I feel like that really helps. So yeah, Olimar, another -2 matchup. I think Olimar is really hard. I think a lot of Banjo players will actually agree with me on this, but I think the main factor that Olimar has against us is the fact that he has side B, and it's really hard to get the Pikmin off you because if you like up smash, yeah, you get them off, but then you're basically asking to get grabbed. You try to nair, you don't get the Pikmin off of you, and then you put yourself in a bad position. You try to shield where you just get grabbed. Um, I just think that side B just destroys Banjo because you want a Wonder Wing, but then Olimar throws a Pikmin on you. Well, the Pikmin causes you to slow down, which makes it easier for you to get punished. Um, um, yeah, I was just like, just side B just absolutely destroys Olimar, and Olimar has a really good advantage state. Olimar is also somewhat hard to edge guard sometimes as well because he's just so like he can just move a lot with the up B. So yeah, yeah, I'm confident in saying that like just the fact that side B exists really destroys us. Piranha Plant, I think this is a +1 matchup. Piranha Plant not is no bueno, not a very good character in my opinion. I do think that in this matchup we want to play aggressively, but like once we get on a Piranha Plant, I don't think Piranha Plant has like very many options against us. Like Patui's decent, but like if we like if we grab him and throw him at the right time, the Patui won't really hurt us because of the grab invincibility, the throw invincibility. I think we can outzone. I think we do a pretty decent job at outzoning Piranha Plant. I think Piranha Plant can't really edge guard as well. I think I don't know. I don't know. I just think we can also do a really good amount of damage on Piranha Plant if we get in. So yeah, I just think that Piranha Plant just struggles in this matchup. Though I do think Piranha Plant does have some good things. Like his advantage state against us can be pretty nice. You do a pretty decent job at like negating our edge guard at a ledge or ledge options. Like man, specifically if you use a side B on ledge, grenade just doesn't really do much. Grenade, we can't. The grenade just gets destroyed. So that's also another factor that to take into account for. Um, I think the down B, his down B can also do like a really good job at catching us. But other than that, I don't know. I just think I'm confident saying that Banjo wins. Pokemon Trainer, I think Pokemon Trainer is definitely -1. So I guess I could just go. I guess I could just do like a quick rundown on all the Pokemon separately because I don't believe in putting the different Pokemon in their own tiers. I just think that's a waste of time. But basically, Squirtle, we can outrange Squirtle, but most of the time, Squirtle can get in on us because he's so small, so he can like kind of duck under our projectiles. But once he gets in, he could just do like a great deal of damage. Very good combo starters like forward air, weak hit forward air into down throw into like whatever area he wants to do. I'm pretty sure it'll work, and that's something that we have to face. And then once we get around like 60, then he's gonna switch to Ivysaur. Ivysaur could do a really good job at outranging us and zoning us out, and then really great juggle, really great advantage as well. And then Charizard, I actually think that Charizard is really good. It's a pretty good Pokemon, so a good character. Um Charizard's really fast, faster than us, I think, actually. And has decent mobility, can survive pretty long. It's kind of hard to edge guard as well. Um I think Squirtle's the easiest to edge guard. And then Ivysaur's probably the hardest to edge guard because of the tether, but it's still kind of hard to like edge guard out Charizard as well. And Charizard's like really fast, and so Charizard, we have to worry about Charizard like killing us early because most of the times Charizard, you're playing when you're going against Charizard, they're most likely going to be at a decent amount of rage. So like stuff like Sweet Spot back here, we have to worry about as well. So yeah, I just think that it's a really good character. Just beats us in like a lot of aspects. So yeah, Pyramithra. I used to think that this matchup was like -2, but I'm confident saying that this matchup is -1, and probably because I've gotten a lot more now. I gain a lot more knowledge about the matchup. But I think Pyramithra, um, they do a great job at like outranging us. Yeah, Mithra has a really good advantage state. Pyro has really good killing, can kill us really pretty early actually, despite being heavy. Um, but I think that they don't really have the best tools against our zoning our projectiles, and I think that that really helps us out actually. Like yeah, Mithra could like use her whatever her like dodge is that causes her to like avoid things or whatever, but I don't think it's a huge factor. I don't think Mithra is going out of her way to do that when we zone. So that's the factor that helps us out. That can help us out. But um I think what really helps what really helps us is the fact that they have really like really exploitable recoveries. With Mithra, if she's like side being trying to grab the ledge, we can just like Wonder Wing and she will get hit by it. She will get hit by it. Same with Pyra, she's up being just Wonder Wing and she'll most likely get hit by it as well. Um, I think that Brigo Blaster is really good at like halting their approaches. Um, I think zoning gets stronger when Pyra's out So that's something to keep in mind because she doesn't have what Mithra has. She's not as fast as Mithra, so that's helpful. But the fact that these characters can outrange us, do they do tons of damage? I think that causes us to like lose. But I don't think it's like -2 material bad. So yeah. Um Simon and Richter, I'm gonna categorize these two together because who cares? But I think these characters I think this is a slight advantage or even matchup. And the reason why I say this is because I think the Belmonts they do a really good job at keeping us out. They could do a relatively decent job of keeping us out, but we also have a good amount of tools that could keep them out sometimes as well. Like I think grenade, when you angle your grenade throws, that can help. Eggs can be really good, but I think what really helps us in this matchup is the fact they have really exploitable recoveries. Their recoveries are so exploitable. It's like not even funny. It's kind of sad actually, and because of that, like they just struggle. I think they just struggle when they're in disadvantage, and I think that gives us a slight edge. I feel like we don't really struggle as much as they do because they can't really edge guard. They can't edge guard us, and they're less trapping. I mean, I think avoiding the holy water. I think that's kind of easy as well. So yeah, um, I don't know. It's just like I feel like in most situations, like it's pretty neutral since like Banjo wants to get in because Simon has like the Belmonts, they just have like really good zoning. But I feel like once we get in, it's a lot easier. And then when they try to recover, they're struggling. Like they will rely on tethers, but when they're like far from the grab, when they're far from like when they're far from the ledge and they have to like use their double jump, one X shot destroys them, and I think that's a huge factor. Okay, so now we have Ridley and Ridley. I say slight advantage, slight or like even, and I don't know. It's like Ridley has a pretty good combo game on us. I think Ridley does a good job at keeping his distance with his moves because his moves have pretty good range despite not being disjointed. But I think Ridley's such a big target that like he's susceptible to getting hit by our zoning. He's susceptible to just having a hard time dealing with us. He struggles. He's such a big target, so like he just like gets he can just like throw out moves and stuff. He's gonna get hit. Um, his recovery also can be pretty gimped as well. We can gimp his recovery, and it's just gonna be so hard for him to like deal with it. So yeah, I think that we do have like just the slight advantage against him in this matchup. Rob -1. Um, just he just has so many safe moves. He has a lot of safe moves, and he does a and his like his neutral bees does a pretty good job at can it could do a really good job at zoning us out because it beats out our eggs and it beats out our grenades as well. We do have a pretty decent advantage on him though. I do think that if we can get in and hit him and stuff, I think we do a decent job. Um, but just because Rob is Rob, like the down B, that could really mess up with our his down B is so good at ledge trapping us. And I don't know. He can kill us relatively early as well if he hits us with side B shenanigans off stage as well. So that's something to keep in mind though. He can catch our Wonder Wings if he knows the timing and stuff. So yeah. I think Rob, I'm confident saying that it's a minus 1. Robin, I think Robin is a really dead even matchup. I feel like both characters don't have one strength over the other that like really helps one win the matchup over the other. And Robin does a pretty decent job at zoning, but I think their disadvantage is really bad. They really have to if we get in, they have to like land. They have to like land well, like every character does, but like I don't think their landing options are as good as ours. I don't think they really have the best landing options. I do think that dealing with their zoning can be difficult, and dealing with like side B shenanigans where on ledge can be hard, but I can't really edge guard us. and I don't think they're gonna be like too much damage unless they have the electric sword. I don't know what it's called, but yeah. I don't know. It's so hard to describe this matchup, but I just think that both characters are just really even, or really even. I probably need to play this matchup more to like get a better, gain better like thoughts on it. But that's just how I feel. Rosalina and Luma. I actually think that this matchup is really, we lose this matchup, and the main reason why I think we lose this matchup is because of Rosalina's down B. Rosalina's down B is just like really good, really good. Uh, it basically just like takes our grenade and just gives it to her. And I feel like grenade is such an important tool for Banjo to use. And in matchups that we cannot use grenade efficiently, they are automatically losing. Like automatically losing matchup in my opinion. We just cannot use grenade in this matchup. We can't zone. She has a really good advantage state on us as well. Like, yeah, we can most likely outrange her. We can most likely block her recoveries, but I just think that the fact that we have to put in so much more effort in this matchup than she does, I feel like it gives her the advantage. Like, I'm not gonna say it's slight disadvantage or even, because I do not think that at all. I think it's slight disadvantage. So yep. Roy, I think this is a definitive -2 match. So Roy, the Roy matchup is so similar, in my opinion, to the Fox matchup, where this character is running at you constantly, tons of safe pressure, but his recovery is not as exploitable as Grom, and he can most likely kill you early. This matchup could be like really hard to deal with, actually. No, I don't really struggle in this matchup as much, but I just think that objectively, just Roy just destroys Banjo. It is not even a question. Roy is just like constantly just like attacking the shield and everything like that. I think he's just attacking the shield, just doing so much damage, and um safe shield pressure, just fast. So sometimes it could be a bit hard to zone. If you want to zone out Roy, I highly recommend relying more on grenade, because grenade is just a lot can like cover. It's just like just a better job at like keeping Roy out than Egg, I think. And also like you're a lot less vulnerable using grenade than Egg. But I was like Briggle Blaster is also really good, somewhat, at keeping Roy out. So yeah. I just think that most likely or not, you're gonna have to try really hard as Banjo if you want to win this matchup. You're gonna have to try much harder than the Roy player. So yeah. um, Ryu, I think Ryu is even. And I say this because with Ryu's projectiles do a really good job at keeping Banjo out. Well, not only keeping Banjo out, but like countering Banjo zoning. Both characters' projectiles, I think they cancel out. I think Ryu's actually like true input Shoryuken, Hadouken. I think that actually beats out Grenade. I'm not sure. But I feel like Banjo has the slightly better advantage state than Ryu, but I think Ryu does a really good job at just keeping even at odds with Banjo. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. I feel confident thinking that this is an even matchup, because I feel like both characters, they don't have like major strengths over each other. I do think that maybe, I don't know. I don't no 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 no. I don't think one character has anything over the other, but um I don't think that Banjo is gonna like be killing Ryu relatively early. I think they're gonna be killing around the same time as each other, so that's something to keep in mind. This isn't like Ken, where like Ken is most likely gonna kill Banjo earlier, but unlike Ken, Ryu does a better job at neutral just because of having that projectile. So yeah. Sephiroth. Uh I think Sephiroth is a -1 for Banjo. And the main reason why I think that Sephiroth is -1 is because Sephiroth just has really good. No. I actually think Sephiroth is like slight disadvantage or even. I think so. It's because we can actually kill Sephiroth pretty early, like really early, because he's just as heavy as Pikachu. So that's something to keep in mind of. But Sephiroth has a slight advantage in this matchup because he has that range. His side Bs also are really good as well. Like if he hits us, then like we're kind of struggling. We don't know what to do. But I think just the fact that he's so light and his moves are so slow, we can get in. I don't think Sephiroth has the best tools against our zoning. Like, yeah, he can down B, but like it's not gonna reflect back towards us. It's just gonna like destroy it. And then because of that, we can probably as a response to him down being our projectiles, we can just use Wonder Wing. And I just think that I don't think this matchup is as bad as people say it is. I don't think it's -1, but I do think he has a slight advantage just for the fact that he just has more range than us, and also one wing angel makes it so much harder to like kill Sephiroth because his mobility and he has much better mobility and he has super armor as well. But overall, I think it's a slight disadvantage or even matchup. Sheik, I'm confident in saying that Sheik is goes even with I think Sheik goes even with no, not even a slight disadvantage for us. And I think the main reason why is because Sheik I think this matchup is very similar to Greninja, and the fact that Sheik just does so much, can do so much damage and like so many and just so many neutral interactions. And I think her needles actually like beat out bombs. So like that's just crazy as well. But I think the matchup is actually harder. I think Greninja does better in the matchup specifically because I think she's damage output I don't think is that great. Like yeah, she could do a decent amount of damage to us, but she has to do like she has to win so many neutral interactions against us. And I think she also can struggle killing us at times because we're just so heavy and she can't really edge guard as well. She's gonna have to get like a really hard read with the needle into down B. And I don't know. Like I just think that Sheik has really good shield pressure. She's somewhat nimble. She's pretty yeah, she has really good mobility. So she could kind of avoid our grenades. She could kind of avoid our zoning really easily. So we have to somewhat be aggressive in this matchup, surprisingly, if we want to do like somewhat decent. Or we're just gonna have to like read her movement a lot with grenade and eggs. But I just think that the fact that we have pretty decent survivability and the fact that we do a decent job at I don't know. I just think that our heavyweight and the fact that we don't die so we don't die so easily, as well as being hard to edge guard and as well as outranging her really helps in this matchup. So a lot of the times I feel like in this matchup you might have to throw out a lot of down tilts and forward tilts and back airs just to keep her out. So that's something to keep in mind. Oh boy, Shulk. This might be like a super hot take, but I think Shulk is actually like dead even with Banjo. I know like some people like to parade Shulk as this like top tier, top 10, top 5 hidden character, but I actually think Shulk is not that good. I think he's mainly just high tier. His moves are like kind of slow. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna sound crazy here, but I think like if he gets shield arts, okay, that doesn't really matter because we can just like I don't think he falls with shield arts. No, not shield, speed. With speed arts, he falls down so fast. He falls down so fast, so like he doesn't really do a good job at avoiding our projectiles, and we can easily catch him out because his nair is so slow, in my opinion. His moves are just slow in general. Like, yes, they have good range, but they're so slow. And I think we can I also think that like because his moves are so slow, if we play aggressively, like I think he has somewhat of a hard time trying to like deal with us. I will say that if he's like throwing out moves preemptively, then we have to like slow down for a second. But I don't know. I just think that like this matchup is not that bad. I think it's pretty easy somewhat. But I do think that Shulk, when Shulk has Buster arts, I feel like that makes it pretty hard. We have to like play so much more carefully when that's out because you do like a really good amount of damage to us. And then when when Smash Arts are out, we have to be careful. We have to be even more careful because he can kill us relatively early with Smash Arts. But other than that, we can gimp his recovery so easily. Um, um, I think I don't know. I've always thought this matchup was even. Like I know I might get called crazy, but that's just how I feel. Um, Snake. I think Snake is. I would put Snake in the tier of slight disadvantage or even because I feel like most of the time this matchup is going to consist of both characters zoning each other out, and then once in a blue moon, getting in on each other. But I think Snake has the advantage because when Banjo gets in, he can a lot of the times Snake could just like pull out a grenade, a frame one grenade, and Banjo has to like either rethink what he's doing or like risk hitting Snake and also getting hit by the grenade, thus losing an advantage state. And I also think that when Banjo doesn't have Wonderwing, then Snake has just a really easy time just edge guarding Banjo with Nikki with the side B. So that's just something else to think of, something else to keep in mind of. I think Snake just does a really good job at doing that. But I think, and also Snake just has a pretty decent boxing as well. Sometimes he can outbox Banjo, but I don't think it's as bad. I don't think it's as bad. I don't think it's as good in this matchup because like we outrange Snake. We can just down tilt, forward tilt, back air, and Snake is most likely gonna lose just because we have a disjoint and he does it. I also think that we absolutely demolish Snake's recovery if he recovers low because we can just wondering on the ledge, most likely destroy the Nikita. Um, I also think we could somewhat intercept his high recovery since most Snake players do that by using up B and then forward airing him. So that's something. So that's also something to keep in mind, though. That's something you can do in this matchup. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think this matchup is slight disadvantage even. I used to think it was even, and I used to think I used to think it was a slight disadvantage for us. But I'm confident saying it's slight disadvantage or even because I just think the Snake is such a good character. He does a really good amount of damage, but I don't know. Oh yeah, this might also be another hot take, but Sonic the Hedgehog. I think this is an even matchup. I personally think this matchup is even, and the main reason why I say it's even is because with Sonic, I don't know. I think he does a pretty good job at what do you call it? He does a good job at keeping. We do a good job at like halting his spin dash approaches because we can just throw out a grenade and then he's mostly going to cancel the spin dash. Um, we can throw out an egg. He'll most likely cancel the spin dash. If he continues with the spin dash, our projectiles will most likely beat out the spin dash. So, he's not gonna have to like he's not gonna spin dash willy nilly. Um, However, most Sonic players are like not dumb, so they'll most likely like be able to catch on. But I just think the fact that that we can just negate that, I think that's really nice for us. I also think that I also think that Banjo outranges Sonic a lot of the time. So most of the time, Sonic players they will most likely spin dash or spin charge at like diagonal angles, and when Sonic does that, then it becomes a lot harder to like zone him out because grenades and projectiles they're mainly shot horizontally, so that could be really difficult to avoid. And once Sonic gets in, when Sonic gets in, it's gonna be pretty hard to he's gonna do a pretty decent amount of damage towards us. And I also think that Sonic will also what do you call it? Sonic will Sonic could also like camp us out as well. I think he does a pretty decent job at camping us. But I think we have tools to deal with that because grenades they could like shoot pretty far, and then we can use eggs to like trap him in a way. And also I think if we want to, we can also do a decent job at camping him out as well. So I think this is a very even match. I don't know. I'm really confident in saying that Sonic is an even matchup. Um, Sora, I think Sora is -1, and the reason why I say Sora is -1 is because Sora's down B is just so good. Like Sora's down B, no, not down B. Yeah, no, it is down B. Sora's down B is really good because if we want to recover, he can literally just say he can literally just stop us from recovering by just hitting us with the down B with the down B. So a lot of the times we have to rely a lot on using projectiles and using projectiles when recovering in order to avoid that situation. I also think the Sora's combo game is really good on us, and sometimes it feels like he can kill us relatively early at times, and that can be really difficult to deal with. But Sora's really slow, both on the ground and in the air. He's really floaty, so we can. I think we do a decent job at juggling him. I think we do a decent job at sometimes zoning him out as well. I think his down B can reflect our projectile, but I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, I just think that Sword does a pretty decent job at just being a nuisance for us, specifically because his because he can beat out our Wonder Wing with reflect with his down with his counter. And I think I honestly that's the major factor into why I think this matchup is -1, along with his like decent combo game, his really good combo game, and Thunder being like really annoying to deal with at times. Thunder can really mess up our ledge traps because not only can the Thunder hit us, but it can also hit our grenade, which allows Sora to like just get in. And most of the time, Sora players, they're smart. They're not gonna up B to the ledge. They're not gonna up B to the ledge. They're gonna use side B, which can be hard to like intercept with a Wonder Wing. Though up B is very easy to intercept a Wonder Wing. So yeah, I'm confident saying that Sora is -1. Steve, I also think this matchup is I think Steve is -1 as well. And the reason why I say this is because Steve does a really good job at keeping us out. I think Steve, what do you call it? Steve is just really good at zoning. Steve, no, not zoning, but like keeping us out with like blocks and stuff. And I could be like really actually no. I'm gonna say that it's actually slight disadvantage or even. I don't think this matchup is that bad. And yeah, Steve can keep us out, but I think that because we have Kazooie disjoints, I think it's not too hard to avoid the eggs. I think it's not too hard to avoid the blocks. We can just like break the blocks pretty easily and pretty safely as well. And then if he throws out a side B like most Steves do, because F tilt doesn't have like the most amount of lag, which I think is the best tool to use to break the blocks, by the way. Um, we don't have to worry about that. Because of how Banjo's recovery works, I feel like we also just have an easy time dealing with his recoveries as well. We do a decent job at dealing with like him trying to like gimp us with blocks, so that's also something we don't have to worry about. I think on average we outrange Steve as well, but I think the main factor that really helps Steve in this matchup and that makes it slightly in his favor is the fact that he just has a very oppressive advantage state, and he just can just up air, up air, up air, up tilt, up tilt. You know what I mean? But like basically just have really good moves just to do damage to us, and yeah, just yeah, I don't know, and yeah, I just think I don't think the matchup is that bad, honestly. I don't think it's that bad when I think about it. When I start thinking about it more clearly, I don't think it's that bad. But yeah, I do think he does have the slight advantage just because he's Steve and he can just like he can output more damage than us, and I feel like that's really important. So yeah. Terry, I think Terry is a even matchup actually. And the reason why I think it's somewhat even is because I don't know, I kind of treat it like Ken in a way where like I think he doesn't have many answers to our zoning. He doesn't have like many answers to our zoning, and we outrange him a lot, but he does a really good job at pressing our shield. He has much better damage output, which could really help. And also, like he can be somewhat hard to edge guard because of his true input up B, which causes his legs to be intangible. That could really make it hard for us to try to like use like Wonder Wing to like edge guard him. But other than that, I always feel like this matchup is somewhat even. Just because I think like I feel like the strengths of both characters really like cancel out and becomes even. So a lot of the times in this matchup, we're just focusing on keeping Terry out, making him get into us, and then we like punish him. However, Terry However, Terry is able while Terry's trying to get in on us, and then when he gets in, he either presses our shield, does tons of shield pressure, which then either leads to us like retreating, trying to run away, or it results in us just getting like bodied for a bit because Terry has really good advantage state. So yeah, I don't know. I always thought that this matchup was somewhat even just for the fact that Terry just doesn't have the best tools against our zoning as well as being as well as like getting outranged by our districts. Like Terry, I mean like the his neutral breed can't beat out our grenades, but most of the time, if you just like throw the grenade like directly at Terry, it's not gonna hit. I'm confident it's not gonna hit. So yeah. Toon Link, I think this matchup is quite even. And the reason why I think it's even is because I think it's even because I don't know, it's like I feel like Toon Link, I don't think his zoning isn't as good as Younglings, and I think his damage output isn't that great either. But I also don't think he loses to Banjo. I think this is just like a really solidly even matchup because both characters have strengths and weaknesses. I do think like Toon Link relies more on zoning than Banjo, but I don't think it matters that much. I think if if Banjo manages to just like get in, then the matchup becomes a lot easier, but not that much. Toon Link has the better range just because he has a sword and a destroy. But I mean, well, actually, no. I don't know how big Toon Link's disjoints are, so I'm just gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that in the air. Maybe I'll check over and see who has the better range, but I think Banjo has slightly better boxing than Toon Link, but I think Toon Link has the better range game just because he has multiple projectiles. Toon Link's pretty easy to edge guard, I will say that, but I mean, other than that, I don't think there's too many factors that make in Banjo's favor that makes it definitively like winning. So I think it's a pretty solid even matchup. Oh boy, another -1 matchup. Basically, Villager, pretty bad matchup. -1. A lot of people, some people even say it's -2. I could definitely see it. And the main reason why is very similar to Isabel, with the fact that if he pockets our grenade, the matchup is just torture. It's so hard. But because of the fact that Villager has more projectiles than Isabel, I think it's harder. It's a slightly harder matchup against Villager than it is for Isabel. And just the added amount of projectiles just like really helps make it hard for the added projectiles really just makes it hard for Banjo to get in at times, and it can just be so difficult to just deal with. And he just does like a really good job. Villager does a really good job at keeping Banjo out, especially when Banjo doesn't have a grenade. So a lot of the times Banjo's gonna be playing like super aggro against Villager. And I think that's just a huge factor just to keep in mind. So yeah, I'm confident saying that this is a -1 matchup. Everything that I could say about Isabel applies to applies to Villager, except Villager has more projectiles. So yeah. Um, Wario, I think Wario is a -1 matchup. Wario has amazing mobility, just great mobility, great combo game. Um, I don't know, maybe it might be slight disadvantage even, but I'm confident saying -1 because just Wario is such a great character, great juggle game, great advantage, great pretty decent neutral, really good mobility. Does a really good job at just like dealing with Banjo's shenanigans. Though Banjo does have the range advantage and the Banjo has the range advantage and he has the short advantage, but I think like in most situations, Mario just gets so much more out of neutral than Banjo does, and I feel like that's just a huge factor because he's able to just move so freely and move so fast. So yeah, yeah, I just think that definitely in Wario's favor. We Fit Trainer. I think We Fit Trainer is even. Their main game plan is like zoning each other. I feel like We Fit's main game plan is trying to keep Banjo away, and then once Banjo like tries to get in, then We Fit does crazy combos with like deep breathing. But I don't know. It's like I don't think this matchup is in one character's favor over the other because I think Banjo does a really good job. Banjo does a really good job at like zoning We Fit because he has like so many projectiles that could like he has like more projectiles than We Fit, but like We Fit has like that soccer on is so good. And then of course the down B plank can also be like really difficult to deal with. And I do think that a Wii Fit does do more damage out of a neutral interaction than Banjo, but I think Banjo wins more neutral interactions because Banjo has the range and the zoning advantage. But other than that, like I just think that both characters don't have like specific like factors that like outweigh the other. So yeah, I'm just positive and just saying that I'm positive and saying that Wii Fit is a easier matchup. Wolf. I think Wolf is -1, and I actually think that Wolf is the easiest out of the species to deal with. I think Wolf's recovery is somewhat exploitable. Actually, like a lot of people say it's really good, but I don't know. I just think Wolf is somewhat overrated, and I think his recovery is really overrated. Like it's decent, but like I don't think it's like that good. And I think a good Wonder Wing could like really do a good number on it, but Wolf has a really good advantage state on Banjo. Laser also is really good at the blaster is really good at keeping destroying Banjo's grenade, I think it does a really good job at that. I think I think yeah, I just think just Wolf being a great character. Oh yeah, Wolf also has really great air mobility as well. And that could really help get some like really good combos on Banjo. But other than that, I just think that I think Wolf is just Wolf was pretty good. Wolf wins the matchup, but I don't. I think you know what? I'm actually gonna move Wolf to slight disadvantage or even, because I think like in neutral though, if in neutral, I think Banjo actually does pretty decent because I think on average, besides Wolf's fair, Banjo is most likely like outranging Wolf. I think Wolf kind of struggles against Banjo's zoning because yeah, Wolf has a reflector, but like he stands in place, which could allow Banjo to like take more stage control over Wolf. You don't really want that against Banjo because Banjo really relies on stage control, I think. Um, I think Wolf kind of yeah. I don't know. Like I just think that it's so hard to get my thoughts about this matchup because it's so hard to explain why I think the way I do about this matchup. But I just think that it's not that bad. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad for Banjo. Like I'm not really scared of back air pressure Wolf's back air pressure. I think Banjo outranges Wolf in a lot of situations. So I'm confident in this opinion. Yoshi, I think Yoshi is -1 because Yoshi has a really good Yoshi's advantage is really good. His combo game is really good. He can juggle Banjo for like a pretty good amount of time. Um, Banjo, Yoshi has really great mobility as well. I'm pretty sure Yoshi's egg could also beat out a grenade as well. Um, Yoshi has really good mobility that really helps. Yoshi's shield is also really good because you can't really break it. So like trying to Wonder Wing it and stuff like that, trying to hope for a Wonder Wing poke isn't gonna work out. I just think that overall, just like Yoshi has like the advantage like over Banjo. I think the main advantages that Banjo has slightly over Yoshi is the fact that he has more range and his grenade is pretty good. His grenade is pretty good at dealing with Yoshi shenanigans. But I think overall, like Yoshi isn't gonna like have a the hardest time dealing with Banjo zoning. If you want to keep Yoshi out, you're really gonna have to rely on those disjoints to keep him away from you. So yeah, I think Young Link is also I think Young Link is also a -1 matchup, and I think Actually, no, no, no. I think Young Link is a slight disadvantage or even. And I say this because I think Young Link, he has really good projectiles. So he's doing more zoning than Banjo, I think. And his moves are really safe too, and he's really fast. But I think other than that, if we can get in on Young Link, then the matchup becomes a lot easier. His recovery is very easy to exploit. It's very easy to edge guard him. And I also think that I don't know. I just think that he doesn't get as much from advantage state. He doesn't get as much from advantage state as like other characters do, but he can still do like a really good amount. He can still do some pretty decent things in advantage state. So I think like the main objective in this matchup is to solely focus on getting in on Young Link rather than zoning him out because I don't think we win the zoning game. Like his side B can most likely beat out our grenade. Eggs are a bit slow, and Young Link is a really fast character, so obviously they're jumping around, they're running around. So, but if you can get in, I think the matchup becomes a lot better. Um, Zelda, I think Zelda is slight advantage or even. No, actually, no. I'm confident saying that this is a slight advantage for us. And the reason why I say this is because I think, well, first of all, I don't think Zelda's good. I don't think she's a good character. Um, I think we can just, I think, I think dealing with her like down B, okay, like we can easily like counter that with we can counter that with throwing a grenade or just any projectile or just hitting her. And I think her neutral B is also just like pretty good. No, no, her neutral B, I'm not really scared of that as a reflector because we could just jump over it. Not that big of a deal. So I think the main objective is you mainly want to just get in on her. And I think her boxing is not very good. Like, yeah, she can do like grab combos or whatever, but I don't think she's gonna do that much damage towards us. I just think that we just win most situations. Like if we box her, I'm confident that we're winning. Her down B can be annoying to deal with, but like I don't think it's that good. I don't think that's gonna like really help her that much. When I just think we have the better range, the better projectiles, the better moves, just the better everything. So yeah, I'm confident saying that we beat Zelda. Um, and last but not least, Zero Suit Samus. This is a -2 matchup, and the main reason why I say that this matchup is really bad is because she really likes to keep us. She really keeps us out. Her mobility is really great actually. If you're fighting a Zero Suit Samus player as Banjo and they're like using flip kip a lot and they're jumping around a lot, it's gonna be so difficult to deal with. It's so hard to deal with. Um, I feel like that's the main tool that Zero Suit Samus players want to go for when they're fighting Banjo. Just the fact that she's so hard to hit is just makes the matchup just pain and torturous for us. And I also think that her combo game is quite decent. Her combo game is really good on us. Sure, she can't really edge guard us that well, but I just think that we're just so susceptible to getting hit by like up B confirms and stuff like that. So it doesn't even matter for her to edge guard us. I think she has really good shield pressure against us. Um, yeah, I just think this match is really bad. Like, yeah, we can outrange her, but that doesn't matter when she's jumping around and we have like slow airspeed. She's just so nimble, so mobile, just so good in my opinion. I don't care what anybody says. I think she's still good. But yeah. Overall, I think yeah. Yeah, Zero Suit Sam is really bad. If I had to rank the bad matchups, I think Palutena's the worst, followed by Olimar, then Zero Suit Samus, then Roy, then Joker. Yeah. So yeah, this is currently my matchup chart. I feel pretty confident in this so far. I might work on it because I do feel like over time my opinions will change Maybe I think some matches might be more winning, more in Banjo's favor, or maybe they might be worse. Who knows? But I'm confident in this matchup chart. I'm very confident. Yeah. So let's change a few things about this match. Um, da, 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 da. So yeah, yeah, this is that was my that's currently my opinions on everything so far. I feel really confident. I feel really confident in this I feel really confident in this matchup chart, honestly. If you disagree, like please feel free to let me know how you feel, honestly. I'm definitely open to tons of opinions, but yeah, this is how I feel currently. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, take care. Thank you very much. Have a good day.